Hi there, I'm Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make Costa Mesa such a great place to live. Today I'm with Patricia Schuppert of Kangaroo Birth Services. Patricia, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you're a doula.
I am a doula.
Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do.
Yeah, so I'm a birth and postpartum doula. So I attend births and then I support moms prenatally and postpartum, and I teach some prenatal yoga classes and teach a hypnobirthing class.
Ooh, that all sounds fun.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I wasn't even thinking about all of those other services. So how long have you been doing this?
I've been a doula for about 3 years now, almost.
Okay, great. I know that there is something really exciting that you wanted to kind of share with the community, because I think a lot of people don't know about it. So what's going on in the world of doula?
Yeah, the exciting thing is that some of it's been around for a little while, but this year more and more insurances are covering doula services. So we're trying to just get the word out that certain insurances are either reimbursing you, so you pay the doula up front and then you get reimbursed, but many pay the doula directly, so you're not out any costs or have to pay anything up front.
That is a huge benefit, because I think word on the street is that doulas are expensive.
They can be if you're praying privately, for sure.
Yeah.
So insurance has been really helpful in getting more people access to doula services.
That is such a breath of fresh air, because so much of the insurance news that we've been hearing, on all other fronts recently has been how much it's going up and what it's not covering, and they're leaving the state, and in real estate we hear about that. So to hear some positive news about insurance is great, and health insurance is certainly a big ticket item. Why do you think that they're offering more of these services now?
I think it was in 2023, the state passed a law that required insurance companies to essentially bridge the gap for people of color and minorities that don't historically do very well in the birth space.
Sure.
And there's been some large discrepancies in care that's been provided for them. And so they passed a law that insurance companies are to use doulas to support moms and essentially have better services and better outcomes for moms in California.
Yeah, that's so important. I mean, we live in an area where there are a lot of families, of course. So do you find that you are working a lot in this area, throughout Orange County?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Been busy, yeah. Especially with insurance covering more, I'm getting a lot more inquiries.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you get a lot of inquiries for people that are specifically looking for help during the actual births, or with some of those other services pre and post birth?
I would say it's a mix. I've got most want both. So most want both the birth services, they want help preparing for the birth, so prenatal services, and then support postpartum. But I've also had some people that maybe just want postpartum services, so you don't have to do the birth. You can actually just have someone come and help postpartum. Either one is an option.
Okay, and so since you have Kangaroo Birth Services, is that your own official business?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so do you have your own set of services and packages that you offer? I don't know how it's regulated or not.
Yeah, well, it's not super regulated. So yeah, I have if your insurance doesn't cover doula services yet, then yes, I have you private pay, as people have been for the last many years. Or if you reach out to, most of them have directories. So Kaiser is a big one. So if you reach out, you can Google the Kaiser doula directory and find people that are on there. And so if you have one of the insurances that are covering doula services, you can find someone who does. And when you reach out to them, just say, hey, I have such and such insurance. Do you have availability during this time frame?
Yeah.
And can we move ahead and schedule a consult?
Okay, cool. And how did you get into this field?
I got into it after I started thinking about it after I had my firstborn. He's 5.5 now. And so there was I was living out in Temecula at the time, and there was a doula that ran a new mom meetup once a week. And so I just started talking with her. And then I got pregnant with my second. And then when I had her, I started getting certified and doing the trainings, and then started doing this job.
Awesome. So you have a real heart for it, and you've got 2 kiddos of your own. But did you ever use a doula yourself?
I didn't, because I didn't know quite as much then.
Okay.
I knew this one person who ran the mom group. But for me, actually, probably because for my first, I didn't really know too much about them. And then I was a stay-at-home mom, and I don't think financially, even if I'd wanted to by my second, I don't think that would have been
Yeah.
for me.
Well, and so I think that's part of the thing too, is that, you know, for as much as we all like talk about pretty much every topic now between social media, and like there's so much information, there's still a lot that we don't know or that we don't think that we can have access to.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really know anything about doulas as an option when I was pregnant and giving birth or anything. And I actually heard more about it when I went to, have you heard of New Mom School?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went there after I had like my first and second for a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think that like for, you know, forever people have had kids and like didn't go to school for it, but like truly it's so helpful.
But I always tell my clients, people used to be in much closer communities.
Yeah, that's
right. And so you didn't necessarily maybe need the school because your aunt was right there, or your mom, or your grandma, or your cousin who maybe had kids, or your older sister that had kids. So it's tricky because we're kind of told you can do it, and you just have the baby, and you're going to figure it out, and you'll be fine. And it doesn't quite work. Like we need so much support postpartum. And so places like New Mom School, like all these different places, we actually have a huge amount of different places that parents can go postpartum to meet new moms, meet other people who've had babies. Like
there's so much now. Options. I love seeing all of the different meetups and groups on, you know, Instagram and whatnot now. Like that's incredible. I'm sure like when my mom had me that there was very little of that, you know? Yeah. That's so cool. So yeah, I felt like I learned a little bit more about it or heard of other moms who were potentially like thinking about having a doula come in or who had a doula come in. But truly, I really had no idea when I was going through the whole process. So what would you say to somebody if they were to just express any sort of questioning about, well, should I consider getting a doula?
Yeah, and if nothing else, most of us do, you know, initial consults or free consults of some sort, or we'll email with clients. So if you have any questions or doubts, find a friend or someone that's recently given birth that maybe had one and chat with them, or just reach out. We've got lots of really awesome doulas in Orange County. I would say if you're thinking about it or considering it, reach out to a couple. We were just chatting that personalities vibe differently, so reach out to more than one, reach out to a whole bunch of them and do some consults and chat with people. You're just going to see how you're feeling after you've talked to a couple. Yeah, that's a good point. And again, having the access to different insurance now certainly will make it a lot easier for people to have that access. For sure. Yeah. Have you had any issues with insurance yet or no? It's a little tricky on the client's part. No, it's fairly simple for the clients. Yeah. Billing insurance is always a learning curve and like a little bit tricky sometimes. But yeah, for doulas, it's a learning curve as we're all trying to navigate. Most of us have, for the vast majority of doing this work, doing it privately. And it's fairly easy to bill the client. They pay you when you're on your way. And so, you know, billing insurance comes with it's hardships, but we're learning. Like I said, so Medi-Cal has been covering it. Medi-Cal has been covering doulas since 2023. So that's been around for a little over 2.5 years now. Some of the commercial plans started in January of this year. And so it's, you know, fairly new and we're still all learning a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure that's like a whole different department that you're in charge of at your own business. Medical billing. And most of us want to be doulas. We're not medical billers. We're not, you know, insurance companies. So it's been a little bit of a learning curve for some of us. Yeah. And so I know you have a couple of kiddos. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about, like, you're in Costa Mesa. I think you grew up here. Yeah, I moved here in high school, and then I went to high school here, and then was gone for a while and came back. 2022. What brought you back? We moved in with my mom. So my two kids and I came and we moved back with my mom. Okay. And did you, knowing that you've left and came back, obviously great to have like the relationship and family support and everything. Is there, and I just like love to ask people about the area. So is there anything that you would say drew you back to the area aside from family? Like, what do you like about the area? I love it is my mom's side of me is it's very child friendly. I feel like there's a lot of things to do with young kids.
Yeah.
I can't speak to older kids, but with young kids, we are out and about all day, every day, and there's just so many opportunities to do things.
I agree. Like sometimes when we even go on like a vacation, you would think that there's going to be tons for the kids to do, but depending on where you go, there could be very little for kids to do, and you're kind of just like scratching your head, like what are we going to do with you all day? You know, like there's nothing child friendly. But here, aside from the amusement parks, there's a million things to do. We're still like discovering all of it, so that's really fun. Is it weird to come back like after being away for a few years, or did it feel just like coming back to home?
I felt very comfortable.
Okay.
New experience because I hadn't been here, like I said, since high school. So it's a new experience to be here as a mom and a business owner. So it's been fun to try that out.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to share about your business and where people can find you?
Sure. My website is kangaroobirthservices.com. The same on Instagram. So if people want to find out more, I'll share different classes and events and things that are coming up on Instagram regularly. But those are probably the two places to find me.
Last question I have to ask, because I talked about it with you before we started recording, but where did you come up with the name for your company?
Really good question. It's not because I'm Australian, which was one of the questions I've gotten before, which is actually a really good idea. So kangaroo care comes from, I don't actually know where it originally came from, but the idea of holding babies very close. So think baby wearing, lots of skin to skin, like all of the early bonding that moms and babies do, kind of collectively is called, kangaroo care.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I am one of the people that thought you were Australian just because of the name, but I should have known because, of course, yes, all the baby wearing and everything. So, well, I love that you're so passionate about helping the community. Certainly, there are lots of people here having babies, so it's good for them to know their options and know that insurance could make it accessible to them. That's fantastic.
So, and I guess on that note, I would say if you aren't sure, reach out to your insurance company. So Kaiser is one of the big ones that's covering it, and HealthNet. And if you are military, TRICARE will cover it. So if you have TRICARE insurance, if you're either military or a spouse of a military, they cover it. And then there's this supplemental insurance company that you may have access to called Carrot Fertility, and they will cover Doula services as well.
Oh my gosh.
And then Medi-Cal, as I mentioned, Medi-Cal will support.
Yeah, so anybody who's out there that's having a baby or is thinking about having a baby, like eventually you're going to start to think about like your birthing plan and all of that. And it's good to know you have these options because it's not just like a one like straight path that everybody follows.
No. Yep. And I definitely, like I said earlier, reach out to a number of people, get some ideas. There's sometimes like free classes and different events that are happening throughout the community where you can kind of get more information and different options that you might have. So there's lots of information out there.
Yeah. I think the last thing I'll say is just that there's everybody probably once they're pregnant starts to have like a vision of how it's going to go when they have their baby. Like obviously you don't know what you don't know, but you think you know how it will play out. You can kind of start to picture it and then you get in there and it's not at all what you expect. Everything changes. You have no idea what's going on, what needle's going there and all of that stuff. So
yeah. And I usually say, when we talk about birth plans, the biggest lesson from making a birth plan is knowing your options. So even if, not all of it happens the way you had hoped or everything kind of goes differently, knowing what your options are and what your rights are and what birth looks like is super important.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point. So we'll definitely reach out to Patricia for any questions about either doula or birthing services or now the insurance as an option too, because that's so exciting. Glad we could finally give insurance like a good rap.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.